What is going on, guys? It's Sloppy Saturdays, and we have some breaking news for you guys. Had to get something out. Deion Sanders is extended till 2029. I'm going to give you guys my quick thoughts on this, and honestly, it's exactly what I was expecting. I thought in this offseason, everybody, all the question marks around was Deion going to leave after Shador and Travis Hunter and Shiloh left? Technically, his three sons with Travis Hunter. Was he going to leave? Now, I personally never thought this was going to happen. And I think the logical move was to stay with Colorado. Now, you looked at the NFL. I mean, there was a ton of talk with the Cowboys. I never really thought that was realistic, even though, as much of a Cowboy move it could have been, them making him their NFL head coach, he just doesn't have the resume. I mean, we're talking about, as a player, one of the greatest football players of all time, without a doubt. But you really have one successful season in the Big 12. I mean, if this was any other guy, I get it, he's an all-time great. They would not even be up for an NFL position. So I thought the NFL moves were all smoke and mirrors. I mean, they were talking about possibly even Raiders in the beginning. Wherever Shador goes, he might go in the NFL. I knew that just couldn't be the case. I knew, listen, NFL is all about not only business, but really doing the right move for your team. And I don't think Deion Sanders, at this point in his coaching career, for any team is the right move in the NFL. Then they were talking about him going into bigger schools, and I really did not like that idea either. What is the benefit for him of going into the SEC, going into the Big Ten? Yeah, he has more NIL money, but again, he's going to have a lot more competition. I thought exactly what he was building at Colorado was the right move. And I thought there was telltale signs in this offseason and a little bit before that he was staying at Colorado. Now let's think about it. He brings in Warren Sapp. He brings in Marshall Faulk, two NFL legends to help him out coach. If I don't feel like he just wouldn't do that if he wasn't planning on staying with Colorado at least for a little longer. Now he could always take coaches with him, but again, these are long-term moves. Then you also talk about in this offseason him hitting some home runs. You're talking about Caden Salter, a guy a year and a half ago we were talking about as one of the best college football quarterbacks. Yes, he was playing for Liberty, but again, had an insane season 2 years ago and was still really a top 5 to 10 transfer portal guy at the position this year. They land a number one recruit at the quarterback position in Julian Lewis as well. So Deion Sanders really was setting up his future. I mean, you're talking about a guy now for him and then a guy later in Julian Lewis. Again, would he be going all in on an offseason if he was planning on moving out 6 months from now? I don't think so. So I think the telltale signs were there. Now, he signs with Colorado until 2029. Again, I absolutely love it. Like I said, for a multitude of reasons, I think staying in the Big 12 is such a benefit for him. I think the recruiting really is going to stand out in the Big 12. Now, let's think about it. If he's in the SEC, if he's in the Big 10, look at SEC, ton of powerhouses. Big 10, you got Oregon, you got Ohio State, you got Penn State. Would his recruiting really stand out? Would he really have an edge over those big programs? I don't think so. Even being Deion Sanders, those programs are going to get who they want. But in the Big 12, the Big 12 in the future is so wide open. I mean, I love Kenny Dillingham and what he's doing in Arizona State, what he did last year with Sam Levitt, Cam Scatterbo. And I think with Sam Levitt, he's going to be one of the best college quarterbacks next year, and they're going to have a real chance to win that Big 12. But again, when you're talking about long-term future, who are your real threats? And you're in a Power 4 conference. You're talking about Arizona State, Utah, Oklahoma State. Those are your big threats in the next 4 years. I feel like you have such an upper hand over these guys being Deion Sanders. You're in a conference where your name and your recruiting really matters. Like, he's going to be able to recruit who he wants in this Big 12 conference and have such an edge all over these other guys. Where in the SEC, the Big 10, you're with these powerhouse schools. They're going to be recruiting and getting big players just as much as you are. Being Deion Sanders in the Big 12, a lot different than being him in those two bigger conferences. So I didn't really like the idea of him taking a bigger job either. I feel like he really improved in Colorado over the last season, over the last 2 seasons, and was really starting to build something there. And I don't think he really has a problem, like I said, with getting recruits, with NIL money there. Yeah, you go to a school like Auburn or something, 100%, they might have a little more NIL money. But your Deion Sanders, it doesn't really affect that much being in Colorado. And I think the complete right move was staying with them in the Big 12 because, like I said, this Big 12 conference is wide open, and it could really be yours in the next 4 years without a doubt. Again, I expect Arizona State to be really good this year. I don't know if that's going to continue for the next 3 years. I don't know if they're going to be able to parlay that. And again, maybe a school like Utah, Oklahoma State, but again, no real threats. And when you talk about college football playoffs eventually getting in for Deion Sanders, it's going to take winning the Big 12 conference. And like I just mentioned, out of all the four power conferences, you have your best shot long term winning the Big 12 conference. Hell, in year two, he almost had a chance last year. So I really like the move as well. And the last thing I wanted to highlight, again, I think Deion Sanders, again, he has a lot of money. Colorado is probably paying him a lot of money. I didn't get the details yet, but I think this is more about him really developing young men and his coaching style really suiting the college level. Again, even if he had offers to the pros, was that really the right move for him? I think it means a lot more for him. Like I said, developing young men, developing young talent, and I think his coaching style really fits in college football. I love this move all around. Like I said, I think the Big 12 conference is going to be wide open, and I think Colorado having the hype that they have is going to be a huge plus in that conference over other conferences. And I think it was a home run for Deion Sanders as well. I think he's made to coach college kids. Again, I don't think his coaching style would really suit NFL guys. Again, even though he is one of the best players to ever play the game, you could argue the best football player to ever play the game. His coaching style, the way he coaches, is really suited for young men. He's building something in Colorado, and I am so excited to see how the next 4 years pan out for them. That wraps up this episode of Sloppy Saturdays, and we are